Welcome everyone to video number 2 in the Profit Trailer series. This video is specifically going to cover the DCA, DCA log and the settings involved in that, and a bit of an explanation on DCA. First, I am not a financial advisor. Do not take financial advice from me. Do your own research. It's your money and it's your decision alone. I'd also like to say, if you're watching these videos and you're considering buying Profit Trailer, please ask you to use my affiliate link, which will be down in the description. Alright, what is DCA? It stands for dollar cost averaging. You can Google it to get a bit of a better explanation of what I'm going to give you, but yeah, we'll see how we go. So, in a nutshell, dollar cost averaging is doubling up, essentially. So, let's just have a quick look at my pairs log. No, I can't, that's a bad example. Go to my DCA log. Alright, this is one of my pairs, Ethereum Classic against USDT. So just ignore the fact that this is all DCA, just pretend this is pairs, and you'll see my profits at minus 3.92. So in my DCA settings, which we'll get to in a second, I'll have a figure in there, and once the pair hits that value, it'll come into this DCA log. Okay? Now, the plan is, obviously want to get those back into the green, back into the positive, so we can sell at a profit. And a good way to do that is to essentially double down. So when the price goes down, say we're at 3.99% in the negative now, we go and buy, or essentially double up what we've got now, and that'll essentially almost half that profit, half that percentage there, and start bringing us back up. It will never take you into the positive, don't ever think that, but it'll bring you up closer to that zero margin, and then you only need a quick spike for it to come back up in the positive with your sell margins, and bang, you sold at a profit. And you know, DCA can sometimes get you some big profits. Alright, what are we going to do now? Let's just have a quick look at while we're in the DCA log. Let's just have a quick look at it. So it's very similar to the pairs log, a few extra columns. Your date, your pairs, your 24-hour change, the strat for DCA. So you notice it's different from my previous video. You can use all the same buy strats that you used in your pair settings. So your low BB, high BB, EMA, gain, cross, etc, etc, etc. There's one other you can use in DCA, and it's Anderson, and we'll get to that because I'm actually using that, so I'll be able to show you exactly what it is. Alright, we'll go through some of these. Blah 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 blah. So this is your current price of the coin right now, and the average price. And this little number here is particularly nice little number. You see in brackets it's different. This is how many times it's DCA'd, so essentially how many times your pair has doubled down. Once a pair has doubled down, it remains in the DCA log. If it doesn't double down and it goes back up above that profit trigger that we set in the DCA log, DCA settings, it will go back into the pairs log. And sometimes you'll see coins just bounce between the pairs and a DCA log back and forth heaps of times as it goes up and down over that trigger that you set personally. Sell trigger percentage. So I set my DCA sell trigger a bit lower on DCA, just to offload them big bags quicker. So mine's 0.89%, and then you got trailing as well on top of that. And I'll explain trailing in my last video if you want to go and look at that. Volume, total amount that you've got, and the same, its current value and what you pay for it. Alrighty. Next is the config. First bit of the config I want to show you is in pairs, and it's a bit I skimmed over in my first video. I told you I wasn't going to talk about it. And it is all DCA enabled. Okay, this value is what sets your pairs to go into that DCA log. So I have mine, as you can see, quite low. Quite close to zero. So as soon as a pair hits negative 1.9%, bang, it pops in DCA logs, and then waits to hit the next trigger in order for it to double down. And we'll get to those triggers in a minute. This has 3 settings. You can have it as a value like this. Obviously, well, you could probably set a positive, but I don't know why you ever would. So a negative value, you can have it as false or true. Good, true. So 3 settings. Oi, too many minuses. So if you set it to true, everything will go straight into your DCA log. There's obviously reasons for that. If you just want to DCA everything straight away, go sort of true and it'll go straight into DCA log. If you set it to false, nothing will ever go in the DCA log. It'll all stay in your pairs no matter what percentage they go to. Then obviously, as I said before, this value, it hits it, goes in the DCA log and starts to looking at DCA. Alright, over to the DCA settings. Alright, first and foremost, max cost. So this is a value relevant to what market you're using. So for US dollars, USDT, put in the USDT value, BTC, ETH, obviously. Just put in the correct values there. This value sets how much you want Profit Trailer to use on DCA per pair. So if it's set to 0, there's no limit. It can just keep going until it depletes its balance. If you set it to say 100 and your pair's worth 50, it will DCA once because it's hit that 100 limit. So this is a value for your whole DCA pairs, not per DCA. I don't know if I explained that very well, but there you go. So if I had my $50 pair and I set it to 200, set all max cost at 200, it would DCA twice because it would go to 50, sorry, 50, double it, so it'd be $100 worth, double it again, it'd be $200 worth. That's it, you're at your max. And so on and so on. Max buy times, this is how many times you want it to DCA. Because I'm working with a low balance again, I've limited mine to 3. You can set that to 0 and it'll just unlimited to keep DCA until your balance is gone. As you can see, my balance is gone and I'm only at 3. Alright, min buy balance and min buy balance percentage. These are sort of like a sister thing. So this is similar to in the pairs. You can set your lower limit as to what you want Profit Trailer to DCA down to. So if I set that to 100, my DCA pairs would keep DCAing until this balance got to 100. It wouldn't let it DCA any more times. Understand? Poor explanation probably. Min buy balance percentage is the same, so you can set a percentage for a Profit Trailer to leave behind. Okay? Buy available volume trigger. This stops partial buys essentially. So this, and this is a percentage, so treat it as 100%. So this looks on the exchange, and if it can't buy 100% of your order, it won't buy. If you had, say, this set to 0, it would just buy whatever's on the exchange. In the, I think it's the bid, I'm not sure, bid or ask, whatever. So it'll just buy whatever's there. You set it to 100, which I have, it won't put in a buy order unless there's 100% of what I need on the exchange at the time. A lot of people actually set this to 110, 150, so make sure they've got well and truly enough volume on the exchange, on the top of the exchange, so you can actually fulfill your order. Max buy spread. This is sort of, I believe, sort of a pump and dump protection. Mine's quite high actually, but this is between your bid and your ask. So if there's a percentage difference of greater than 1.9 between your bid and your ask, top bid and top ask, if it's greater than 1.9%, Profit Trailer won't buy. Alright, up to our buy settings. As I said earlier, you can use any of the buy strategies that you've used in your pairs log. Your low BB, EMA spread, EMA cross, etc, etc. There's also one particular to DCA and it's called Anderson. Buy size double down. Like it says, it doubles down. Easy peasy. Alright, so we've got our buy triggers here. I've got 5 in there, it just defaults with 5 and I've just populated them with my own figures. But as you see up here, I'm only using 3. So I only use these first 3. If I had this set at 0, it would just keep going. It would unlimited DCA until your balance is depleted. So I'd use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on its 6th DCA, it'll just keep repeating this 5th one. Or you could set more triggers yourself. Either or. Alright, so let's explain how it works now. So, let's say our pair we've bought has hit the negative 1.9 that we set in our pairs log, and it's populated into the DCA log. Let's just go to the DCA log. Alright, so we're in a DCA log, and the pair keeps tumbling down and hits our first DCA trigger of minus 2.4. Obviously the ones in our current DCA log have well truly passed that. But it hits at minus 2.4, and what it is going to do is a double down. So it is going to buy another, let's just pretend this one's at a 0 DCA. It's going to buy another 2.583 blah 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 of that coin. So it's going to double your holdings, not your value, your holdings. Simple as, isn't it? And just by doing that, you are going to bring your average price down. And I'll explain how that works later. And in cohorts of that, your profit margin is going to go back up towards the 0, because your average price is coming down according to the current price. Right, back to the config. So we've hit our first DCA, and you would get this little number in here. It'd say once, that's DCA'd once. Let's just say your pair keeps trailing down, keeps going, and it hits your next trigger of minus 3.8. So it is minus 3.8, and let's say for example we bought 2.58 on the first trigger, so it's now 5.1 whatever, 5.16, that'll do, 5.26. It's going to double it again by another 5.26, not double your value, double your amount. So you're going to have, you know, about 10 coins there. Very hard to explain on a live chart like this. That's going to bring your average price down again, and it's going to put a little number 2 in here, so it's DCA a second time, DCA a second time. No worries. And again, let's say it keeps trailing down, hits our third trigger, minus 5.6. You know what it's going to do? It's going to double your holdings again, buy another 10 coins. And you're going to have 20 coins now. It's going to bring that average down, and in with it, it's going to push that profit margin back up towards 0. And so on until you've either hit your limit, your balance is 0, you've hit your min buy balance, you know, you've hit one of these triggers that stops you from DCAing, or it sells. Too easy, hey? I've just brought up an Excel book here so I can try and explain how DCA brings your average price down, which in turn brings your where are we? So it brings your average price down as you DCA, which in turn brings your profit margin, or your profit percentage loss, back up a bit. First and foremost, the God One has done a video on DCA, and he does a brilliant job of explaining exactly what I'm about to explain. Probably a better job than I'll ever do. But if you want to sit through and bumble through it with me, then let's go. Let's carry on. Alright, we're going to use some nice round figures to calculate this, save us getting too mathy. So we're going to use our 3 DCA buy triggers. We're just going to pretend they're all 10%, okay? All 3 triggers are 10%. Alright, we're going to simulate 3 DCA buys here. So just ignore that and just put them there to remind us. Alright, so let's say straight off we get us PT buys pairs of whatever coin, gets 10 coins. Don't know why that's gonna start over here. 10 coins, they cost $100 each, and get Excel to do the math. So its first purchases cost you $1,000. No worries. Alright, after you buy, this coin drops, you know, the 1.9% which I got set, and goes into DCA log. And then it keeps dropping down to 10%, our first trigger. So Profit Trailer is going to buy another 10 coins at the cost now of $90 per coin, because it's dropped 10%. let's drag this formula down. So that's cost $900. And in effect, we have $1,900 worth of that coin. Now, let's figure out our average price. So we divide our overall price divided by the amount of coins we've got, which is 20 now. So $95. So when we started, our average price was $100 because that's what we bought it for. Now that we've doubled down, we've DCA'd once, our average price is now at $95. Now keep in mind that your next trigger goes off the average price. Not of your original price, your average price. So, assuming this coin keeps going down, keeps trailing down, we'll lose another 10%, which is 9.5, nice and easy for that. So we're going to double up. So we've got 20 coins now, so we're going to buy another 20. At the cost of, I could have wrote that in myself, but I didn't. And that equals $1,700. So now we have a total of $3,610 worth of that coin. After 2 DCA drives, we've gone from 1,000 up to 3,500. You can see how quickly it depletes your balance. Right, so let's figure out how our average price is now. So that equals your total divided by the number of coins, which is now 40. So we've got 10, 10, and another 20, so 40. And our average price is now down at 90.25. Cool. So let's keep going. Another 10% off your new average price, which is 90.25. Ooh, we're going to take some acid to this one. So we're at DCA trigger number 3. We need to double up, so we've got 40 coins now. We need another 40. At the average price of, could probably do percentages in this. Minus, what are we doing? 9.025. Cool. Which equals, that times that, another $3,249. So now, after 3 DCAs, we have close to $6,900 worth. 3 DCAs, we've gone from 1,000 to 6,859. Wow. Alright, let's figure out what our average price is now. Divided by, we've got 80 coins now. Our average price is now down to 85.74. Alright, hopefully that explains how the averaging bring your average price down, which will in turn bring your little profit percentage up closer to the zero mark, and which gets you closer to the sell. I'm sure I could figure out what percentages are different to these, but I'm too lazy and I actually don't know. Alright, I just want to show you one thing in the DCA log and this buy strat column. Similar to the possible buy log we were looking at before in the other video with your false and your true trailing. I never actually got to show you an example of the true trailing indication. So, if your pair, or your DCA pair, is not within the trigger of that first, or whatever, second or third, whatever it is, the sequential DCA trigger, the buy trigger, if it's not within there, it'll be false. Okay. If it has ticked over that buy trigger limit, so for this BTC one, my third trigger, which is something around, I'm not sure, once it's gone over that, it'll go to true trailing. And obviously it's doing the trailing, as we talked about in the last video. And it's also looking for that available volume trigger. So it's not going to buy unless you've got the 100% of the volume available for me to buy. Cool? So I just wanted to show you the difference between the true and the false indications. Alright, that about wraps up the content of the video. Hopefully it didn't go on too long this time. Hopefully I've taught you something about DCA and Anderson in particular, and how the averages actually come down. If not, chuck a comment in and I'll try to help. Otherwise, come into the Discord and idle in the Profit Trailer channel. The link will be in the description, as will my affiliate link for Profit Trailer if you are considering purchasing it, and a few other referral links there as well. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not take financial advice from me. As goes with everything, do your own research. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like. If you've got any questions, ask a comment. If you've got any suggestions, chuck a comment in there. Subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you all on the moon. Cheers, guys.